Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1.5 EU Championship. We're today for the Australian Grand Prix. We've just got a couple of minutes left of qualifying. Unfortunately, we've had a few technical difficulties here and there. We do have a random in the lobby of Diddly D, so hopefully that doesn't cause any severe issues. Crazy Charlie Bear's got some technical difficulties. We've got a few drivers with 5-place grid penalties. That's Terence, the current pole sitter. And it's also, I believe, maybe Donzo, or we'll find out in a minute, but that is Yellow X sending it into turn 11 a little bit too hard, and that could be their qualifying run done. P7 right now, a race distance done yesterday to gain the experience. Out the final corner, they'll get DRS a bit further down the line. There you go. Where is it going to be for Yellowek in the Sauber? It's going to be an improvement to P6. And margins away to P5. Brilliant stuff. Idacon track just holds on, but they split the two Ferraris. Almost everybody out on track right now, getting ready to go again. We've got Simon S returning once more, but unfortunately they've got big damage to that front wing, so their qualifying efforts will also be over in this session. We've then got Elwain on an outlap. They've got to do something big here. Their rival is very far away, and they are currently P1 by a decent margin as well. Where is Terence? Terence is a little bit further down on the circuit, but we've got, it's actually, I think, in P15, Bitcoin joining once more in our site. It's been a while since we've last seen them. They'll cross the line to finish their session with 1 minute on the clock, or they'll at least start their lap. I think they might just be starting, unless that, yeah, no, they will just be starting. Here we go though, Maverick into the final few corners. This will definitely be it for the Alpine driver. 45 seconds on the clock now. It's crunch time. It's ERS, it's DRS to the line, it's a long run, it's going to be P8, they improve one position, a 17.092, nicely done. They will not be defended or attacked once again by Simon S. It's Terence who takes back P1. Well, they improve on P1, a 15.7. Huge stuff over Mark Tunick. Edvir looking to try and improve and see what they can do. We've got Yanaldi. Actually, no, that's not Yanaldi coming across the line. It's Daft Penguin, P11 right now for them. And they'll cross the line and stay in P11. It's the championship rivals teammate, though. It's Elwain, who's round the final few corners, currently finding themselves in the middle of the field. Can they compete with their teammate for the pole position time? Oh, and they can't. P8, a 16.910. And I thought they would have been a firm favourite to take victory here. Liking this circuit, saying that it's top 3. And now they're down, not even in the top 3 where we would expect them to be. Yanaldi, also competitive this season. Can they bring the fight to the front once more? They can! P2, but just missing out of Terence again, who is 3/10 ahead of the rest of the field and cannot be caught. Absolutely amazing stuff. We've got Bates Racing around the final corner to see what they can do in the rest of this session. Across the line, the McLaren goes, and it's going to be a P12 they stay, improving by a tenth of a second. It is Terence on pole position. It's Yanaldi in P2. And Mark Tunick, who off stream, by the way, we did not get to see what happened, but they were warming up their tyres. And unfortunately, they spun into the wall. But they still qualified on the second row of the grid, a 16.256. What could have Mark Tunick done with a final run in this session? That would have been pretty impressive, I'm sure. But we've got one hell of a race on our hands. It will be Yanaldi starting on pole position because Terence has that 5-place grid penalty. So P6 it will be for the driver from Hong Kong. And that puts the two teammates only 2 slots away from each other in this session for qualifying. So for the woes of Elwain, it's not worked out too badly. It's also Maverick with a 5-place grid penalty as well, unfortunately. So they will also drop down. The race director's on your screen, and then we'll quickly go once again through qualifying, and then we will be back in a bit for the race. It's Terence on pole position, but Yanaldi will start first with Mark Tunick, and then Isaac on track right behind. We'll see you in a bit. Ready, hold, go! And who's gonna get it into turn one? I don't believe what I'm seeing, but luckily the McLaren did not cause any problems in the end. Oh, it's gonna be P1 for Yanaldi. They stay there. It's side by side in contact as Isaac on track bullies their way through past Mark Tunick. It's still side by side, but now between the two teammates, there is a yellow immediately. And we will continue. What happens there in the background? That was one hell of a show that we just had. We've got the McLaren having their issues. We've got Vic Cullen and Donzo Gamer also struggling. I don't know what's going on with the racing ball. And unfortunately, Cravato starting in such a good position. Will also be out in like the F1 tier race yesterday. We start lap 1 with a virtual safety car. And quite a few cars do have damage here. We'll try and use this time to get Charlie back into the lobby. So I do apologise for the inconvenience to the screen. But hopefully we shouldn't be in too much of a trouble. And we're once again racing. It's going to be back to it. We've got battling already as Elwain goes for the move. It's Vic Cullen who retires, and that's once again a virtual safety car immediately. I'm not entirely sure what the plan there was from Vic Cullen, but now it means that a few cars can dive into the pit lane, and we're expecting to see a few at least. But that is the Ferrari of Cravato, of course, who will get a bit of help. There is Vic Cullen into the pit lane, getting their new wing and tyres. We will quickly look at the screen and hopefully everything can calm down. And then we can go racing once more. There it is, Donzo into the pit lane. There we go. And hopefully Diddly D can find peace in whatever they're trying to do today. I do apologise for this. We'll get to the bottom of it. And hopefully we can get racing once again. Without any concerns. And there we go. The green flag once again is out. Yanaldi reacts well. But we've got Isaac on track on that medium tyre, and they look hungry to go for the move. They stay behind for now. But they were really in a good position. Terence in P8. Drops now down to the position where Elwain started. Elwain ahead to P5, going a position above where their teammates started. They've had a brilliant beginning to this race. It's going to be the move to the inside as Isaac on track makes it work on lap 3. Lovely stuff indeed. And they definitely are awake and they know what they need to do with these tyres. Further behind, we've got a bit of a gap here with Terence as they can't stick with Yellowek on that medium tyre as well. Only 2 drivers starting on that medium tyre, or at least without the pit stop runners that we unfortunately didn't get to see go any further. That's contact with the wall from somebody just up ahead. That's either Yellowek, Elwain, Mark, Tunic. We don't quite know who. Someone is going to be in a spot of trouble if they're not careful. And the front runners are all out quite nicely and looking pretty quick. What happened there to Donzo Gamer? They just kind of lagged back. I think they're all good to go now. Diddly D back into the pit lane and hopefully they can leave the lobby at some point soon. And Donzo Gamer getting that. What's going on there? That is Crazy Charlie there. Eventually getting back into the lobby but then crashing immediately. That will be another virtual safety car, but no safety car deployed. And that's their race over. Right. Now we do have the lapped car of Diddly D coming up here, and as long as the yellow flags don't be a problem, then the McLaren will be ghosted by the time we go racing once again. So just waiting for that green light to go as the cars bunch up. I do apologise, everyone. There we go, and there's the ghosting. There's a massive bunch up now, and the field is completely together from P1 to P9. It's almost 3 wide, and it's absolutely chaos. A ghosted car does not help the inside line to the Ferrari, and it's as close as you will get. The margins are fine. The move's made. Oh, the Haas is round. Oh, I don't believe it. Edfear gets tapped, and their rear end will now be in trouble. And it's Batesy now right behind. Oh, there's contact there. What happened there? That was Edfear. All of a sudden slowing. There's no damage, but I think they were just trying to catch their delta, just not in a very safe way it seems. Once again, another virtual safety car has been deployed. Diddly D is now out of this one. And I'm hoping that that does mean the virtual safety cars are now over and we can just go racing normally. So we wait for the green flag. We've got the top 2 who are going very quickly. Jutus gets a drive-through penalty in the meantime. I don't know if anybody else suffered. I don't think they did, but it's side by side, and it's the move around the outside that we saw so popular yesterday. We continue to see the overtakes up in P1. Isaac on track takes the lead once more with the medium tyre. It's side by side. It's the Haas who makes the move as well. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Brilliant look to the inside as well from Elwain, as Yinaldi just can't do anything but go backwards. Looking in their mirror, lap after lap, it's still side by side, and it's actually now just time being lost. DRS could be gone here as Yinaldi and Elwain scrap it out. 1.2 seconds away. the top two have an opportunity to make something of this race. There's contact. Oh, Terence almost had a big off, and unfortunately that was double contact with their teammate, and they took their front wing off. Absolutely tragic stuff right there. I think there might have been contact on the rear end of Elwain. That's what caused them to lose that. There's damage to the championship leader's front wing. Yinaldi lost out a lot. No, it wasn't, sorry. Yes, it must have been Yinaldi, but I don't know how they've immediately caught back up. It's all a bit chaos, isn't it? It's all a bit chaos. Lap 6 out of 29. Let's try and hone in on things and hope that Elwain can still get something good from this race. That's our race leader getting a 3-second time penalty in the early stages and being attacked by the Haas car already on the hard compound. They're giving it a good shot. They've got the inside line, the advantage, and the move. There's no way the Ferrari can have a go around the outside, but they do try and stick it. It wasn't going to happen. They've got DRS, and they do have a chance to get this position back. Yinaldi right in DRS, and Terence catches back up too. Edvir not too far away, and Delph Penguin, unfortunately, big impact into the wall. The safety car is now deployed fully. And we see 2 time penalties. Luckily, all the drive-throughs are served before the safety car has been deployed. The race will be fully neutralised, and we will get many pit stops, front wing changes, strategy calls, and it's probably all just going to be the option tyre for, or the alternate tyre for everybody here. That being said, the hard tyre runners, it's a bit too early to go to that medium. What is going on here? Simon S all of a sudden slows down. I think there's been some sort of accidental illegal overtake, so that's why cars usually slow down. Or maybe it's just a delta, as we are currently following a delta here, because we have not caught up to the safety car just yet. Donzo Gamer will be brought back into this race after the tricky issues earlier on that they saw, and everybody will be unlapped. What tyre will we see Mark Tunick, Isaac Track and Yinaldi go for? The top 3 will be the calling cards. I'd say probably more about the top 6 will be the ones to make the call, and everybody will follow along as Mark Tunick stays out as expected. The hard tyre, well, I was going to say the hard tyre runners stay out. Yinaldi's dove into the pit lane. Yinaldi has dove into the pit lane. It was an easy choice for Isaac on track to try and take it to the end, although it's going to be very difficult. It's probably going to be a double stop, to be honest, and maybe that's not a bad idea. If these hard tyre runners that are pitting have an extra set of mediums, they can do that double medium stop right now and be absolutely rapid for the rest of this race. It's going to be complicated, it's going to be tricky, and we know that that yellow wall tyre can get very, very tough. Once it's got some wear on around this circuit, we've seen many cars have some big snaps of oversteer and understeer due to the wear and change the course of their race. That's just how it goes when you're racing. Daft Penguin apologises for crashing out of the race and causing the safety car. It happens. It happens. I believe it might be correct that we don't have any more room for safety cars. We have the top 3 on the old hard compound of tyre. That is Mark Tunick, Bates Racing and Simon S. We've got Isaac on track on the fresh set of hards, so does Yellowek, have the same idea, but it's mediums for the rest of the field, fresh mediums. And they're going to have to make another pit stop in this race, I believe. I know that they'll have to make another pit stop in this race. So it's really going to be quite complicated here. We just don't know what's going to happen. The driver that started on pole in P5, the driver that qualified on pole, P6, the championship leader, P10, and Mark Tunick, who did show some brilliant performance in qualifying before crashing out in the early stages, is now in P1. Yes, the strategy is a little bit tricky, but I don't feel that Mark, Bates Racing and Simon S are actually in the worst case scenario here. I think they're actually in a pretty good position. Due to us having to put some laps in to try and catch up to the pack here, they do need to push a bit harder because that safety car isn't going to be waiting forever. Going a little bit too slowly. Can try and save tyres, but if you don't catch that safety car by the time it goes in, then you are going to miss out even more so. The safety car is about to cross the set where it's about to be called in, I think, unless we get one more lap. It usually gets called in at the sector line, but I'm thinking because it's been out for a while, we might get another one. Okay, I think we're going to get one more lap under the safety car here before we then get the restart. So we will go racing once more on lap 11. Another opportunity for Mark Tunick, Bates Racing and Simon S to go into the pit lane for some fresh tyres. But they didn't opt for it in the end. Now it's a 3-second to both Isaac on Track and Bates Racing. Looking for a very different strategy as the Ferrari driver. That could hopefully, for their sake, make their time penalty work. Bates Racing is on another less popular strategy at the moment. So it could work out for their race as well. But it would be quite a challenge. Ju just catches up to the pack. Donzo just about to arrive. And then we will get confirmation very shortly that the safety car is in this lap. There you go. It's on your screen. And we'll get ready to react. That was a close call. Mark Tunick almost finding the wall here as everybody will bunch up and they've got to try and stay behind one another. It's going to be difficult as the pack suddenly slows down. We've got a few cars on track, but the safety car needs to get to the pit lane first. We've got some decent pace here from Mark Tunick. They're still going quite quickly. They're not allowing the safety car to run away with it right now. So they've got to be ready because a very quick restarter is a dangerous one. And there it is. Absolutely perfect from Mark Tunick. No chance for anybody else to react. And they go hurtling down to turn one with no challenge at all. Oh, Bates Racing goes off the circuit, so does Simon S. Those cold hard tyres are brutal. The fresher ones from Isaac on Track will work out nicely. Iannaldi on the medium, trying to make it work even further. Almost contact, that is the McLaren losing the car. Whoa, Terence on the inside line. It was 3 wide. There was a bit of a miscommunication, and that is the Alpine into the wall. Maverick misses out. That's Yellowegg, I think, possibly contact with the wall as well. I don't know. Yes, it is. Oh, big off for both cars that just received that problematic start. They drop down the order, and it's Donzo Gamer and Chutas also somehow involved in all of that once more. Mark Tunick runs away, 1.5 seconds advantage on the older tyre. Isaac on Track will make amends to catch up now. Bates Racing gets a 3-second time penalty as they try and hold on to P4 as long as they can. It's the inside line for both for Yinaldi and Terence. And they get the move done. It's side by side for Elwain and the Haas car of Edvir. Edvir stays behind for the minute as Elwain tries to make some slow progress after a very chaotic Australian Grand Prix so far. Simon S doing what they can. Now DRS is enabled, those tyres are going to be even less effective than they already are. Here it is though, Elwain to the inside line. Can they get the job done? There was never going to be space left from Bates Racing. They just didn't even see that Elwain was on the inside line. That's going to be a bit of a wake-up call there, as Elwain actually didn't allow Edvir to go through. Edvir missed their braking point. Elwain gets the position back once more. Bates Racing's got to look in their mirrors, because Elwain's had to really take avoiding action a couple of times now. It's now going to be left-hand side. They'll make the move in a straight line. It's very, very tight. Late moving to defend. There's going to be contact down the straight as well if we're not careful. It's Edvir to the inside line. It's Edvir looking for it. The McLaren tries to come back through, and Elwain somehow ended at the back of all of this. Don't turn in. Bates goes off the circuit as they've been returned the favour. That's what happens if you turn in too early. You get pushed off in the immediate corner afterwards. Unfortunately, Bates has gone off the circuit, and they've lost out with damage as well. On the gravel, I think they just couldn't keep it in a straight line. That was as it gets. As it gets with wheel banging. That's just how it goes. And yeah, unfortunately, push does come to shove, and you will receive back if you give. That's Isaac on track, making the move to P1. It's going to be a look to the left and right for Mark Tunick. They're not willing to give this one up. They know that they've got to fight with every last bit of tyre that they have left here. That is contact with the wall from Terence. I don't know if they would have got damage from that. It was a hefty hit, but it looks visually okay. Still, it's possible that they do have some light damage that we can't see, but for now, they're good to go. Bravato just behind Edvir in this one. Mark Tunick gets back into the lead of this race with DRS. It's Terence who's got pressure from Yinaldi, but Yinaldi isn't in a position to make that move. A little bit of a offensive manoeuvre to defend from Terence there. Elway not having the best of races so far out of all of the chaos. Lap 13 out of 29, almost halfway into this one now already. They've just got to try and relax. It's been pretty hectic. They've made a few positions. They've got through a lot so far. They just need to keep on going. They've got no time penalty as well. That's an advantage that they can take through this race. Bravato, there's a time penalty, but still back into it after their troublesome opening laps. And I'm sure they're happy with that. They're just sitting behind Simon S right now. They do have the fastest tyre. Although, that being said, that medium tyre will start to get a bit worn on these laps, and the next few even more so. Simon S though definitely knows about that tyre wear already. DRS and ERS available. It's going to be Terence also going for the move to P2. Here we go though, side by side, the inside line is going to be chosen. The move is not quite going to be made so easily. There's contact, and that's as close as it will ever get as well. Perfect stuff. Well, I say perfect stuff, very risky stuff. The inside line for Bravato this time. A bit more of a straightforward overtaking opportunity, but not an attempt. They eventually get the job done. And now we have Elwain looking to try and make a position as well on the older tyre runner. Will we see a pit stop? We don't see a pit stop. They're basically pushing the racing balls through the corner. They use the battery, they've got the DRS, it's a drag race into turn one. We continue as Elwain looks to the inside. They'll have the advantage, they can brake late and they can take the racing line. There we go, that's the move done, and we can continue. It's Terence in P2 just about holding on ahead of Isaac on track here. Mark Tunick doing a very good job, and I was just wondering how would it have gone if they were able to set their qualifying lap time in the final minutes. If they're able to be in the lead on 14 lap old hard tyres against fresh mediums, then we just don't know. The Alpine retiring out on track. Unfortunately, Chuchus is being a ghost car in the middle of this battle. He's going to have to try and get out of the way here and not distract any drivers. Eventually, it is Martunic getting through. Terence follows directly behind. You can see Isaac on track and Yinaldi as well, not too far away. Edveer rejoins the battle. Cravato only 6 tenths away from DRS as they get Elwain for pressure behind. It's ever so close between many drivers here. The Mercedes goes off the circuit, and it will be a bit easier to see for a few drivers. No, it won't. It will not be at all. There's big contact with the wall. Edveer slamming into the barrier. They need to try and not drive through each other, because otherwise it's going to get very complicated with the ghost cars. They eventually manage to sort themselves out, but somehow Edveer's back into this race! Oh! Big crash! DNF, and I don't think it's going to be a safety car, because we've had too many. Cravato loses the car on the exit of turn 5 or 6, I think that is, and is out of the Australian Grand Prix. Elway now left alone, but luckily for them, Edveer had that issue, and now DRS is once again available. That is Elway doing the correct thing actually there and not overtaking the ghost car by just driving through them. They went for the overtake physically. That is exactly what you need to do. But now they've got a bit of work to try and do anything here. Martunic into the pit lane, going for the standard strategy here, now onto the medium to the end of this Grand Prix. And you know what? It's a big risk starting on harder compounded tyre. A big risk. But it's worked out and it's paid off. Martunic still very much in this race, in clean air as well. Simon S doing exactly the same thing. These guys have got a lot to look forward to in this Grand Prix. Yellowek looking for a move to the inside. They're in a similar situation to these guys. They have the inside, they have the brakes. There's a bit of contact I think from Maverick's side, but other than that it was a very, very nice move. Double DRS kicks in. Even though Yellowek was ahead, they still get DRS on the next straight, and they can secure that move. 9/10 advantage they have, and 4 laps extra on their tyres. The top two are now leading the way, but Terence is trying to check out here. Unless their tyres are just better at this stage of the race, they've won this one before. They won here last season. Can they get another circuit to their name with double victories? That would be very impressive. This time it would be on track as well. No higher tier drivers to take away the glory. Yinaldi holds on nicely. Isaac on track just doesn't seem to be able to hold on at this stage. Don't know what's gone on. Oh, that's what's gone on. Damage. I don't know if that happened within racing or if they've hit the wall on the left hand side. I think that might be the case. We've seen a few drivers and heard a few drivers hit that wall. All of a sudden this problem has occurred. It's losing them a lot of time, but they're still committed to that hard compound, and I think that's why we're seeing them stay out. They've got to try and do something here with that advantage of their strategy. I say advantage, it could be the advantage. We don't quite know yet. They've made that pit stop under the safety car. They've saved about 20 seconds to the rest of the field. So if they can keep these tyres alive to the end, which won't be easy, then they can have a very good chance, and maybe the damage is worth it. That's what they're risking here. That's what they're playing with. It's Edveer into the pit lane on a 10-lap old set of medium tyres. We see Elwain doing the same thing. Isaac on track did actually pit in expecting them to do that. They're going to go to the end on a set of hard compound tyres, which is going to be very consistent to the very end, but it's still going to be quite difficult. Mark Tunick will set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. They're 15 seconds away from Yanaldi and Terence, and they're flying. They're absolutely flying. Are we going to see Mark Tunick's first victory here? Well, it all depends on if Terence and Yanaldi are going to try and take these tyres to the end of the race, which I am pretty confident is saying it's not physically possible to take those tyres to the end of the race. Mark Tunick is currently your net race leader, 7 seconds ahead of their teammate. 1.2, 1.3 is Simon S on Edvir. After getting that front wing change, Isaac on track now down to P6, and Yellowek is directly behind on slightly older medium tyres, but still competitive tyres and warm tyres at that. They've not got they've not got ERS, but they do have DRS, and they have a chance of doing something here in these closing stages now of the Grand Prix. Everything has come together. You should not give up until it's over. That's Chucha's having another issue. But no yellow flag to be deployed, just a moment. On track, Erwin catches to this battle here for P6 with no time penalty. They're automatically being P7. They need to get ahead of Yellowek though. They do have the advantage on tyres at this stage. They do need to try and get ahead of Isaac on track as soon as possible so they can make use of this compound. Now it's 12 seconds that Mark Tunick has to Yanaldi and Terence, who push each other to the limit. Yanaldi just staying behind their rival at the moment. There is Yellowek making the move on the hard tyre compound driver. There is Yanaldi into the pit lane a lap earlier than Terence. Elwain try and be decisive here. They've got to do something. They've got to show confidence in a race that just has had so much about it already. There's a mistake there from the Ferrari, and well spotted from Elwain, actually taking the racing line on exit as well, trying to make sure that they maximise the overtake. And that is such a shame. The fresh tyres just not working as they should be. And Isaac on track with some brilliant pace. We could see the performance just not fortune and fighting against the track limits instead of using them. Unfortunately, just pretty big a struggle. That is another retirement on track, but no safety car will be deployed. Luckily, Chuchas P11. 10 cars remain. Everyone will score points as long as they finish here. It's going to be a drag race down the straight, as we have no DRS for Yellowek, but we do see DRS for Elwain, who will get DRS once more. And they will run towards Simon S in front, who has been driving a very quiet race for the last few laps, but they will have a swarm of cars to deal with here. Edvir keeping Yanaldi company, who has made that pit stop on the previous lap. And we see Terence stay out on this old tyre. Elwain getting the fastest lap as they look to the inside. Oh, that's very, 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 very tight. There's going to be another attempt at an overtake on the left-hand side. They do eventually get there. It's going to be tight in the braking zone once more. It's rubbing and racing just about. They eventually get the job done. Elwain is P5. Yellowek's going to want to try and get involved in this at some point as well, but they don't have an advantage on tyres. Or the time penalties either. Looking at the time penalties, 3 seconds, 6 seconds for either contract and Bates Racing as well. 3 seconds for everybody else that does have the time penalty. It's super tight down the straight. Yellowegg is going to try and go for it. That's never going to work. Oi, oi, oi. And there goes the Sauber off the circuit, and through goes Isaac on track. Looking to the inside line once again. Yellowegg's going to try and give it a shot. That's not going to work. It's instead of just more of a defence from the racing ball cart. And Yellowegg there does eventually get a position. Simon S all over the place and missing out on that move, unfortunately. Now down to P8 from where they were P5 for a while. Edvir has not been able to hold on to Yanaldi, who's made some good progress. But they've got 4 laps advantage on the car ahead, but 4.1 seconds to catch. That doesn't really seem like a trade I'd want to make, and that shows how much of a disadvantage the strategy they were on earlier. Looking at the compound and the tyre wear that we see Terence having right now, those tyres are pretty dead. It's a matter of time until they see in their rear mirror that Mark Tunick is on their way. Just locking up as they very lightly tap the brake throughout the corners, lifting off massively. Very tentative stuff here for Terence. And unfortunately, with a few laps still to go, I don't know if these efforts are going to be rewarded for a second victory here in Australia, and to extend their winning streak of 3 in a row. That would be absolutely spectacular, and they would be able to try, or they would be able to take the championship lead back. Dancing on the rear end as they travel through the corner. The Red Bull driver rocking their best season so far in LSI. We continue to see the battle actually continue as Simon S is not too far away from Yellowegg, and they've got ERS to play. Gonna be so easy on the exit. The track limits are brutal. The ERS has been used. The overtake was not successful, and they stay ahead. I've just seen something and I'm incredibly confused. Yanaldi is 1.2 seconds away. Mark Tunick's still been making consistent progress, but somehow the Aston Martin is just incredibly quick. Here's the move once more to the outside line. They're looking this time all the way, the long way round. The space isn't left eventually on the exit. That would have been spectacular if Simon S was able to pull that off, but they just didn't get the job done. I think it was a bit risky from Yellowegg there on the defence, for sure. They were not expecting the racing ball to ever be there, to be honest. But it's how it goes, I guess. DRS, and much closer this time, is going to be a more straightforward overtake. They get the job done. Tucking into the slipstream is the Sauber, but there's no chance. They're not going to get that move back. They just have to wait for the following lap if they want to do anything about it. As we will see, Yanaldi now within DRS range. Mark Tunick all of a sudden has just missed out on the pace. We don't know where it's gone. Lap 26 begins of 29. Terence is just up the road. We should remember Mark Tunick is driving for the Williams team here today, so they will score points towards the Williams championship, despite driving the Haas car. Yanaldi Absolutely flying here, looking to take victory once again in LSI. Looking to take victory here down under. I think at the moment, with the way things are going, they have the best chance. Although they're P3, they now make it P2. And it doesn't seem like much of a contest. And I don't think Mark Tunick would be a fool. They don't fight. They allow the Aston to go for it. With the pace that they have, that's pretty impressive. And I don't know what's going on, but I think Mark Tunick's struggling with some tyre wear here. Yinaldi's strategy has worked out nicely, and Terence is now thinking, well, what could have been? I was sat with this guy just a few laps ago, and now all of a sudden they're on my tail again. They're within DRS range on not even the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. They've got laps to spare here to make it work, and I can't even guarantee that I'm going to make it to the end of the race. Those are Terrence's thoughts, maybe, at the moment. A very risky strategy, let alone a quick one, and you can see how close Yinaldi was to making contact with the rear of the Red Bull that just can't do anything with the tyres. The ERS is being used. Yinaldi doesn't need to use too much, but no, Terence is fighting back with the compound. They do eventually have to give in, and look at just how tricky it's going to be for the drivers from Hong Kong. No DRS either, that's going to be even more of a struggle. But the grip will just fly away with the Aston Martin through the right-hander, and they'll gain so much time. And especially through the complex where it gets really down on the speed. The slow speed grip is needed, and it's just not available. Mark Tunick, luckily for Terence, he's having their own sort of problem here with the tyre wear. And that's meaning that they're not able to make this move just yet. Terence could still fight for a P2 at this stage. That's a yellow, but no safety car will be deployed from Maverick in P9. Not entirely sure what's going on. They just can't get the car around once again. They may have been stuck, I'm not sure. But it's going to be Bates Racing eventually getting the move done and getting an extra point. Because of that, it's going to be Terence who does lose that position for Mark Tunick. And DRS is not going to be available. Now clean air is available though. You can see from Mark Tunick they're able to just dart past. And there's no problems. Terence just has to creep to the end of this race. Minimise that tyre wear to the maximum. They've got an extra 3 seconds on Edbeer because of the time penalty situation. So 4.5 seconds, as that is Maverick doing something weird. I don't know what they were doing. We're not even going to look because it's not worth our time. We've got a race on our hands here. Elwain in P5, hoping that something happens to their teammate. Terence, the talk of the moment, is trying to get this tyre to the end of the race. Absolutely brutal. You can see the wear on the front and the rear. You just don't believe what you're seeing. 21 laps on medium tyres. 21 laps. I don't want to take my eyes off of this guy. I just want to see if they can actually get it done. Is that it? Is that a puncher? It's not. But Edbeer's on their way to try and have a go on track. I don't think it's going to happen. And even if they can have a go on track, time penalties will say otherwise. Terence crawls to the end, It's Yanaldi who plays it to perfection with a strategy that no one could figure out. Absolutely brilliant. Mark Tunick with a phenomenal drive, just can't take it, but Terence will take these tyres. 22 laps to the flag. Edveer in P4. Elwain will take that P5 after also a difficult race. Isaac on track in P6. We've got Yellowek who will just about be ahead of Simon S on track, but they're not going to get it in the end, unfortunately, as the time penalties will kick in. But what a race we've had. I want to thank you, everyone that stayed with us to watching. Everybody that stayed with us out on track and raced to the best of their ability. And apologise to any that may have had inconvenience in that race. But we got through it. We see the checkered flag. And where there's trouble, there's also opportunity and success. And we've seen that. Those deserve can receive if they just keep at it. Yanaldi gets the win. Denies Terence of 3 in a row. And really makes a nice dent in their championship comeback. A triple on the board in the end as well. It's Yanaldi who takes victory in Australia. It's Mark Tunick in P2 with Terence in P3. We've got Edveer, Elwain, Isaac on track, Simon S, Yellowek, Bates Racing. And then finishing still the race and scoring a point is Maverick. Then we've got DNFing earlier on, Jutus Cravato, Donzo Gamer, Delph Penguin, and we've got Charlie Bear and Viclan at the back. In the beginning of the race, we've got the session results just to be exported. The race director, just in case, as it was one hell of a drive, wasn't it? It was a hell of a journey. And then the pit stops, just to help us out. We'll see you in a bit for the post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere. Hello everyone and welcome to the post-race interviews of the Australian Grand Prix. That was one hell of a race that we just had. I don't really know what to say, to be honest. We start with Yellowek. There was racing throughout all the time, and you had a few good battles of a few drivers. The safety cars were very difficult to deal with. Can you take us through it, and what on earth was it like to deal with that many safety cars?
Yes, that was okay. Let's start from the beginning. Everybody started on hard. I started on mediums. I had great start. I killed Cravato. Don't talk about this. Yes, later first safety car, virtual safety car came out. It ended in sector 3. We raced through sector 3. Then after sector 3, another VSC all the way to sector 3, another racing only in sector 3, another VSC then, and same, like, it repeated like 5 times, or I don't know how many, but oh my god. Yes, later, after, just later, Erwin was fighting with some guy, and I mean, I was close behind him. I think Erwin wanted to go for the switch, but he braked very early. I crashed into him, and I broke my wheel. My wing. Uh, so yes, not optimal. Then I pitted to repair this wing. Uh, I was racing for a few laps, and then another safety car came out. Yes, when it restarted, I had good restart. Everything was fine. All the way to sector 2. The Miles, the Alpine driver in front of me, he got killed. He didn't crash, somebody just murdered him. I braked to don't crash into him, and somebody crashed into me because of that, broke my wing. Oh my god. I pitted, I did crazy undercut on everybody else. And yes, then it was like 18 laps on mediums, so it wasn't fine to drive those mediums to the end. And P8 by the end, when I think I had enough pace to maybe even fight for a win. My quali was very, very bad. Like, I could do 1 second better lap. So yes, a big shame after this race. Yes,
Yeah.
that's all, I think.
I think a race that went in that kind of way, you've got to be happy with finishing. So, I think you should be happy with what you've done today. Don't worry about it. Because there's only a few interviews going on, I will ask. Singapore, do you like that circuit or not?
I mean, I never drove it, so but I very like street circuits. I love them a lot. I mean, it's also street circuit, but come on, I hate this track, and I also love night racing. So I think this track will suit me. I will definitely go lower downforce than I did in this race. Sakin will kill me after that. He told me to have higher downforce.
Thank you very much, Yellow. Really good effort today, and hopefully we can see you have a good race next time.
Thanks.
And we move on to Terence. Terence, so close. Almost had the victory, but those tyres, wow. Absolutely incredible. I think that's a record for medium tyres. Can you take us through it, and did you wish you made that final pit stop, or were you happy with what you did today?
Actually, I have no any data because I have no race engineer today. I don't know that Isaac contract get a wing damage. I don't know that Mark Tunek is the one to stay out. So actually, I expect the tires is actually in the same laps with my mediums, and I have to take my mediums because at that time no way to stay out with the hards, and I don't think they're gonna be tough with the mediums. I kind of underestimate the medium tire wear and stuff on lap 2 of my medium stint. I recognize, oh my god, I just normal driving it, and and it got 6% per lap. So, but I think the pit loss is something around 23 seconds. So I think it's still worthy to, because there's no enough lap left for them to catch up 23 seconds. So I think, okay, I just slow down, keep my tire in a good shape, and then try to make it work. Obviously, the actual pit loss is something like 17 seconds. If that 6 seconds suddenly pop up in the pit lane, actually I could get a win. But it's still, I think it's still a good effort to carry those 22 laps mediums. Or you could say that, oh, there's 3 laps on the safety car, but there's still 19 laps mediums. I would say is quite a good race for, obviously not a good race for the result, because I couldn't manage to make a three straight wins.
Yeah.
But I'm still on the podium, and who gonna challenge the record?
I think you did a very good job today. It was a chaotic race. It was a chaotic qualifying. You had an amazing pace out there. You should be proud of what you've done. You've set a record with that tyre masterclass. And I'm not sure if you're championship leader. If you aren't, then you're much closer. And you're definitely giving it a very, very good shot. So thank you very much, Terence. Really good effort today. Singapore's the next circuit. You've had some troubles there in the past. Do you like it? Do you think you can do well?
Hope I can repeat the pose, because since I get pole in Belgium, my first ever pole in league racing or whatever in LSI, and then I do 2 pole times. Actually, now is the 3 pole times in a row. So I hope I can get pole again there, because the track position in Singapore is very important. But sometimes you don't know, would you make a mistake in a wet condition, because it's very easy to get a rain there. So
Yeah.
have to look on, have to recover well, because I got midterm later, and also currently I have already stayed up about 20 hours in a
Yeah.
20
That makes it
consecutive
even
hours.
more impressive. Absolutely
It-
incredible drive today. Terence, go to bed. Thank you very much. And
Yeah,
we'll
I
see
need
you
to.
next time. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
And we move on finally to Mark Tunick as we grab Mark Tunick in. Hello, Mark. That was one hell of a race. I want to say, qualifying, it was such a shame to not see you get to the end of it, because I was thinking you might have been able to even go for pole position there, but you still managed to make it work. You were leading for a very, very large part of that race as well. What were you thinking with the tyres? Did you think that you had it in the bag? And what happened at the end? All of a sudden, Yinaldi just had an absolute blast of pace.
Yeah, well, first off, in the qualifying, I made a slight mistake. I checked, like, for a millisecond, checked my phone, went a bit right, and, well, just lost the car. But actually, yeah, surprisingly, I had a lot of pace in the quali. Probably could have done mid 15s. But in the race, with the safety cars, I didn't actually really know what to do. I was just thinking, are we going to get another safety car, or what's going to happen? But I just decided to stick with the hards. And then we actually had some racing laps. And then all of a sudden I checked lap 15. Okay, now I can actually pit. But then on the softs, I don't know, the pace just kind of dropped. I thought hards were really much better, and I thought like Terence would actually make another pit stop. I think that would have been better for him. But yeah, they just, I mean, I thought maybe I could keep him behind, and for a little bit I did, but I don't know, the car just didn't feel the same anymore, and I didn't want to risk it. I just got the new setup today, and I did like 5 laps,
Wow.
so I didn't want to risk it and push it. So I just decided like I'm gonna let it go. He's gonna catch Terrence. Maybe then I'll see an opportunity and go past, but I just didn't want to risk it now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think another point for you, as I said with Terence, I think you should be proud of what you've done today. Yanordi just absolutely flew at the end there. They've done a very good job to deserve that. But a podium, congratulations. Amazing stuff. It's great to see you there. And yeah, very well done. Singapore, the next circuit, whether you're there or not, is that a circuit that you like? And do you like it more than Australia? Do you think you can get another podium?
Not really sure. The setup's kind of changed lately. I do some other leagues, and the setups compared to like 3 months ago are kind of different. So I don't know. I like Singapore, but I think I like Australia a bit more.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, usually the pace in Singapore is okay, but we'll see.
We will see.
Um, yeah,
Nice one. Thank you very much, Mark. It has been a
thanks.
pleasure, and congratulations. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
And that's been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We will see you next weekend for the Singapore Grand Prix. Don't miss it. That will be absolutely awesome. Once again, thank you and good night.